And the crowd continues to get bigger, but no arrest. It's like, what can you say at this point? These people and their expressions and their jumping around says it all out here, Byron. They are celebrating this victory that Luke Longley said was the hardest to get, and I imagine was the hardest for fans, especially, particularly because this entire area was vacant outside of media less than 3 hours ago, and now all of those fans who were at home probably scared that the Bulls would lose decided to venture on out now that they have the double three-peat under their belts. But again, you can see the crowds enjoying themselves. People are going in and out of the bars. This is probably going to go on for a while, probably 4 a.m. when most of the bars will close. Initially, some of the bar owners didn't think they would make up their money because it was so barren out here, but it looks like they will come out winners as well. Back to you guys.
All right. We had all the faith that they were perched and waiting. It's almost like ants descending on a picnic, huh? It's like they come out and people came out from nowhere. Right now, let's go back to Laura Jones. She's standing by at the United Center. Hi, Laura. Calm down a little bit there. I think we're going to hear you.
The noise is still unbelievable. Fans just don't want to go home. As you can tell here, a lot of them are taking off because they've seen what they want to see, but these guys, they're not going to win.
What was this again?
You feel like you were part of history in the making.
Oh, yeah, of course. Got it. If you weren't here, you don't know what you're missing, man. This is the best. Everyone, yeah, every championship. I came here last year, too. You know, the Bulls are #1, man. They're the greatest ever.
Did you ever doubt them?
I did in the beginning, but not now. There's no doubt in my mind. Love them.
The Bulls you go to Bulls games all year, or is this your first one?
I've been to them all year. We love them. We come to these games all the time when we can get tickets.
Well, a lot of fans tell me it's tough to get tickets during the year, but today they only had to spend $10 to get in, and it was well worth the money. And they are celebrating as they are all over Chicago. Live once again at the United Center. Back to you guys.
All right, Laura, rest up a little till we come back to you a little later. Right now, we're going to go over to Mike Pomeranz standing by at Michael Jordan's restaurant. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Nancy, it's quiet here. You know, well, compared to the UC, it might be quiet here. I've got somebody who, you've been watching this game. I've watched you. Try to keep your heart in your chest. You were going crazy when Jordan makes that last second shot. You were not that confident, though, 5 seconds before that, were you?
Well, you know, it's tough, but hey, it's the Chicago Bulls. They can always pull out the last minute. If anybody could do it, Michael Jordan can definitely do it.
You've been watching a few of these championships, haven't you?
I tell you, we are season ticket holders, and we flew in from Tampa to see Friday night's game and to be here to see Chicago bring it home.
After all the ones you've seen, how does this one rate?
This one rates top. I mean, it was a tough game. Utah was a good team, but hey, there's nobody like the Chicago Bulls.
You, not going to pull for Utah next year, are you?
Are you kidding me?
You enjoying yourself tonight here at Michael Jordan?
I am. I'm having a wonderful time, and it's great to be back home in Chicago. And hey, go Chicago! Yeah!
Yeah, well, just another fan who's a little uncertain as to who to pull for. Thank you very much. This young gentleman has been keeping an eye on the game from the get-go, and you've been very calm. How do you hold yourself under such great composure?
No, not at all. I tried to cheer them on the best I could, standing up, going all the way for the three-peat. We're going to win. It's awesome. It's great.
What do you think is going to happen next year? You think Scotty and Michael and the boys are going to come back?
I wish they would, but I think it's going to be the last dance. As far as I can tell, it's all over. But it was a great way to go out. I love that.
You are watching the ball game here at the restaurant. Better or worse than watching it at your house?
Definitely better. Definitely
No comparison.
better. We got here at about 11 o'clock, waited about 5 hours. It was worth it completely, 100%.
Thanks very much. Hey, everything here at Michael Jordan's restaurant beginning to close down, wrap up a little bit. Hopefully everybody drives home safely and enjoys the festivities. For now, Mike Pomeranz again, reporting live from Michael Jordan's restaurant downtown. Fox News Chicago. Back over to you guys.
All right, let's get some perspective on the game.
Well, the perspective on the game is out in Utah right now. The head coach of the Utah Jazz, Jerry Sloan, a guy who knows what it feels like to wear a Bulls uniform. Remember, he's a great player for the Bulls at one time. He's addressing the press after the ball game.
Good job of executing the play that we drew. And obviously, they did a good job of trying to force us out on the floor a little bit farther, which we did. John had to take a hurried shot. And but the ball, I think that one of the unfortunate things is that turnovers coming down the stretch really hurt us. You can't afford to give them second chances. With Michael Jordan out there, he's going to make the plays. He was able to do that, and you live with that. It's a very bitter pill to swallow, but that's why they're champions. That's why they've been there. They know how to come back and make the play after a mistake that you make and capitalize on it. You know, those are things you have to know, and you have to be strong mentally to not allow those things to happen. they have a terrific team, and he's a terrific player, and obviously he made big plays, and those are the things that they deserve the credit for.
Jerry, you were saying...
I don't think they deserve the credit for the other shots that they got.
Sorry for interrupting you. You said to Michael that you hope he comes back.
Sure I do. I think it's wonderful that he plays. I've always felt like he's the greatest player that's ever played this game. And this league needs players like that.
Okay, it might be a bit before we get
If
to
this
him.
was his last game, how do you think he should be remembered?
How he should be remembered? Well, I think everybody knows how he should be remembered. He's the greatest player that's ever played. I don't know what else you could do. I mean, that's a great thing about him and what all he's done for not only the league, but everybody that's a part of this league. And that's to be commended. We just have so many things that are sideshows to this game that he hasn't allowed to happen, and I think that's the most important thing, that he, being as great as he is allowed the game to be the important thing. And the other things came afterwards, and I think sometimes we have a tendency to get those things in reverse. All the sideshows that go on outside are more important than the game. But fortunately, with him, it's never been that way, and I hope he continues to play.
Okay, we're just outside the Bulls locker room. Ron Harper, as you can see, answering questions a few feet away. Let me see if I can get around the fence here. Can I just step over there, sir?
You can go.
As far as I can go. How about right there? This guy's right here.
As far as you go, right here.
Want to say hi to the people in Chicago real quick? Thanks, John. Okay, good. Beautiful.
Hey, we had key guys that definitely stepped up big. MJ performance was a great performance, but my hat goes off to Scottie Pippen, who stepped in, made key steals, played big, and even though his back was hurting, he kept on playing. I don't care about me. I will care about my boy Scottie, and I want him to feel good, and I want Chicago to feel good.
And Ron, with all that adversity, you guys are always able to pull that out, and that's kind of the sign of this team, isn't it?
We have a very big encouraging team. Our team played with heart tonight, and we came out today, and somehow we hung in the ball game, and I think that was the key.
That's number 6. What are you going to say to Jerry Reinsdorf to make 7 a shot?
Hey, if Jerry don't know about that, he will never know if he don't want this team.
How sick were you tonight before the game?
I was. Well, put it like this: if it was a season game, I'd have stayed in bed.
With you sick and Pip having the problems you had, did you ever think you had a chance? I mean, really, the way the game was progressing.
We for sure felt we had a chance because we knew that we was gonna play. I knew I was sick, but I knew that I was gonna play, and it's just going out there and just putting everything out there, and it was a great game.
And that champagne probably tastes like Pepto-Bismol right now, doesn't it?
Pepto-Bismol at its best.
What do you got there, Harp? Is that a little lemonade?
All your ills, huh?
I got some Pepto-Bismol that will cure all my illness right now.
Harp, what is this title? This title, explain it.
Hey, believe me, y'all only see it during games. We see it every day. Can't nobody stop him by themselves. They should know that they need help guarding that man.
When he made the steal, what were you thinking? Were you thinking Michael's coming down and hitting the shot?
Hey, forget timeout. Put it in number 23 hand and let's live and die.
Wasn't that apropos with Jordan doing it? I mean, making the steal, getting the hoop.
Hey, it was a key steal in the key shot, and somehow John had a good look at the hole and shot was short.
You think that'll be his last shot as a Bull?
No, my heart didn't stop. Theirs did.
You think that's his last shot as a Bull?
I don't know. Time will tell.
All right, Harp, congratulations on the championship. That is championship. Harp still got his champagne, having a great time. Harp actually walked out of the locker room to talk to us, which was nice of him to do. He's throwing champagne around. We're going to be back inside the locker room. You can see possibly, Jeff, get a shot in here if you can, maybe off your shoulder. See, Dennis Rodman is inside, and perhaps he'll be coming out here in a minute. Let's see what he's doing. And the celebration continues as the Bulls capture their 6th title in 8 years, the only franchise in history with more titles to claim, the Boston Celtics, as the Bulls have 6 titles, 6 of them, unbelievable. We're again in the wild melee outside the Bulls locker room. Look at Harp. Harp's got the champagne going over here. And we'll be back in a minute when we grab somebody else. For now, back to Chicago.
All right. Thanks so much, Corey. Let's go back to the United Center right now where Laura Jones is standing by with lots of happy fans. Is it calming down a little bit over there right now?
Oh, absolutely. It's it's kind of like now you're just sitting in someone's giant living room who happens to have 4 giant jumbotrons watching the Bulls game. But first of all, we got a gentleman here who doesn't want to go home. And turn around here so we can see what you got. Bulls number 6 shaved into his head. This is a true Bulls fan. Tell me, you said this is the first time you've been inside the United Center.
First time I've ever been in United Center, Lord.
What'd you think?
Never. It's great. Real great. I mean, it feels like you're actually there, and we thought we was in Utah the way they were doing it here, but we were supporting them. Hopefully we'll do 7. All right?
There you go. Thanks so much.
All right, no
Glad
problem.
you had fun. And believe it or not, we've got the voice of the Bulls, if you will, Ray Clay here. I mean, it seems like you've been doing this forever. What are you thinking tonight?
Oh, I'm thinking this is great. It was a year that we didn't have home court advantage, and everybody sat and thought Utah's the team, and the Bulls just pulled it out at the end with number 23, like always.
Did you ever doubt it after the struggles they've had throughout the series?
I was a little worried when Scotty hurt his back early in the game, but boy, when MJ took over, that's all we needed.
We're hearing Harper has the flu, Scotty's got a hurt back, all these other problems. What are you thinking about
The
that?
team faces adversity. There's going to be probably some adversity during the offseason to see what happens, but come on, guys, let's come back for 7.
Can you do the famous Bulls win?
Bulls win, number 6! And now your world champion Chicago Bulls.
There you go. You heard it here. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Reporting live here at the United Center. I'm Laura Jones. So back to you once again.
All right, thank you, Laura, very much for that. People celebrating. Ron Harper says, Chicago, be happy. Let's take a look at what's happening over at Jordan's. Mike Pomerantz there. What's happening, Mike?
Hey, Byron, you'll never guess what I found. I found what may be the only surviving Utah Jazz fan in this building. How did you manage to survive a night at Michael Jordan's restaurant cheering for the Jazz?
I'm sad.
What's that?
I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed? Would you think your team played pretty well, yeah? You think your team played pretty well?
Yeah. They did good.
You're awfully composed considering I saw you before the game and you were, during the game and you were going crazy. How are you so relaxed now? You're a little overcome by all the Bulls fans?
They didn't bother me.
A little intimidating? Okay, well, that's the latest from Michael Jordan. Is the one surviving Jazz fan is doing what she can to keep surviving. Back to you now, Byron.
I think that was Diana Ross, and she's singing the blues.
Yes, she is. But Phil Jackson is not singing the blues. He's thrilled. Let's see what he has to say.
And their organization, their fans that support them, as tough as they are, they put up a heck of a fight. And it was a fight worth having. I know they're not disappointed because they went down with a struggle and they went down playing the way they played.
Okay, we'll take questions.
Yeah.
You ready? You.
Phil, there have been reports in Seattle, Denver, and L.A. that all those teams want to talk to you as soon as your season's over. If they approach you, will you have conversations with them?
I think they want to congratulate me on the 6th championship, and I'll accept those calls. Thanks.
Congratulations. Could you just talk about them opting to single-team Jordan when he hit the game-winning shot with 6 seconds to go?
Well, they're so effective with us having Michael on the post. They came from the blind side. They were able to snipe with Stockton down there. We just put him out on the floor a little farther today. I gave him the ball in a space where he could operate. He started taking the ball to the hoop. He did everything. But he had 3-pointers on in. But the reality was it made it difficult for them to find a place to come from and where to go from to lead people. And I can't blame their defense. I would say that the way they played defense on them during the series, they felt they had the ability to control them.
Phil Michaels said after the game that he would talk about his future decided during the summer. I was wondering if this was the end for him, was this a great way to end it, in your opinion? And how should he be best remembered, you think, as an NBA player?
I don't know if I can add to that question, unless you want me to reiterate how great an ending it was. You know, it was just an awesome thing. I think you have to say that Michael's a guy that comes through. He's a guy that always comes through in the clutch. He's a winner, and he's proven it so many times over and over again. How many times does he have to show us that? He's a real-life hero.
Phil, you told NBC that you cleaned out your office. Isn't it obvious you're not coming back?
Well, if I'm not coming back, my office is clean, so it's great. I don't have to make an extra trip down to the United Center and bust it down on the expressway. But the reality is that We planned, this is our last year. Right now, we're just celebrating it as our last year. We don't want to deprive the country or Chicago or even ourselves of this, but we just have to celebrate the moment and enjoy it. Unless something absolutely, unusual comes out of the left field, I don't expect to see us back here again, and what a great run it's been.
Bill, did you tell your team late in the fourth quarter to start taking it to the basket instead of jump shots?
Yeah, we were tired, and we had them in the penalty situation. We knew that shots were coming difficult for us from the outside, and we just needed to take the ball to hoop. And Tony and Michael can do that, and they did it.
Phil, talk about the adjustments that you had to make offensively and defensively because Scotty wasn't at full speed.
Well, that was difficult for us in the first half. We had a lead. We took him out. We lost the lead. We went behind. Scotty was queried in the locker room. Did he think he could come back in the first half? He said, I can't move. We tried to get some stim on him with some ice so he could numb the pain. He got back in the second half, and we were able to do some things defensively that we like to do. Double team on Carl, got the ball away from him a couple times, and do a couple of things that was roving, but he wasn't as active, obviously, as he usually is. And our defense just had to hold us the last stretch of the game because of their efficiency. They're very efficient, and the shooting was tremendous tonight.
Okay, this will be last question.
So it was the last sequence in the last dance, to Jordan with his 2 buckets and the steal. Where does that rank in all the incredible, great Jordan moments that you've lived with him over the years?
Well, you got to say it's a winning game. Last year, the 5th game here I didn't think you could top that, the performance he had in that ball game. I think he topped it tonight. I think it's the best performance ever I've seen of Michael Jordan in a critical game, in a critical situation to win a series. Thank you all.
Thank you, Coach Jackson. Michael Jordan will be up next. All right, let's go over to Dan Jiggets right now. Dan, you heard him say it, if I'm not coming back.
Yeah. He cleaned out his office at the United Center. Big deal.
They do that every year.
He cleaned the one out up in the Berto Center. That's the key one. But the key thing, though, is let's talk about the game for just a moment. First of all, when this game started out, we knew that Scottie Pippen had some problems. We knew that his back was bothering him. He had gotten a shot day before yesterday and was grimacing throughout the early part of the basketball game. Michael Jordan is at the podium right now out in Utah. Let's go back out there to the Delta Center.
Sweet, and knowing that it might be the end of a very special era.
Well, I think it's bittersweet in the sense that it was the toughest route, the toughest challenge that we've had in the 6 championships that we've won. In some people's eyes, no one expected us to fulfill this, and that was part of the challenge. And then the 5 before that, everybody predicted us in some respects, and it was a hands-down situation. Here it wasn't, and we had to do it against a team that, played well all season long, played at home, had a crowd that was really energetic and kept them motivated, and we lost our opportunities to win it at home, and we came here, and at first, as soon as the games ended in Chicago, it was some dim feelings and some negative thoughts, and as time went past, I think everybody realized that if we want that 6th title, we have to go through Utah to get it, and we have to go out there and win it out there. So, I think those negative thoughts erased very quickly, and it's a great day for everybody, I think.
Michael, few people in the world face retirement with so many others caring about the decision that he makes. You mean so much to so many people, to the league, to the other players, to the networks, even to the economy. How do you make the right decision for Michael Jordan, the human being, independent of all of the other people and forces that are tugging on him?
It's a gut feeling. It's just a feeling that I have. When I walked away the first time, it was a feeling. It wasn't something someone told me. When I came back, it was a feeling. If and when that time comes where I got to walk away, I hope that because I walked away, no one look at me any less. And sure, the economy may take a different turn. But
That's Michael Jordan at the podium. Our Corey McPherson is standing by out in Utah. He has got Dennis Rodman alongside. Corey?
Bring everybody back. Here's Dennis right now.
That's the way he should be treated.
And for Michael Jordan, here's a guy that played major minutes and really just carried this team on his back.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to win so bad, and plus when it's time to step up for the defense, everyone collapsed, and And we worked hard, and Michael said, hey, the hell with that. Let's just win this and go back home and have the city of Chicago praise us.
How are you going to celebrate this championship?
Come on, man.
Got a little beer down his back. Somebody's nailing him with beer.
Dennis, did you know you'd have to step up your game? With Pippen and Harper having problems, did you know you have to step up your game? Did you know you have to step up your game tonight, offensively, especially in the second half?
Well, I just knew I had to just play basketball. Last year, I was unable to be effective as a basketball player because of the knee injury, but this year, it was a lot different.
How much were you inspired by the last game out where Malone dominated to come back tonight and have a big game?
Well, it was very frustrating because, you know, I should have done a better job, and I didn't do my job because I was pretty much last days to go and really into the game. So this game was a lot more important for me to get in here and to show the world that, hey, Dennis Rodman's not going to be out there just one of his boy toys.
The last 15 seconds of the game, the steal and Michael's basket. What's going on in your mind when you saw it all happen?
I'm just saying, you know, we play good defense. We get the last shot. We're going to win this damn basketball game. Let's win this game. And when Michael got the steal and Michael got the shot, the game was over. The game was over.
How about you and the way your future is set up? Are you coming back? You said the other day Pippen's the key to this whole thing. What are you thinking? Is that still how you feel?
You know, I would love Chicago to have me back this year. I would love them to come back because they've really been patient with Dennis Rodman and gave me a lot of opportunities. I would love to come back, but if it's not meant to be, I have to go somewhere else.
What can you say about your relationship with Phil Jackson, the guy who's been over backwards to deal with you and all your off-the-court antics? I mean, no other coach would do that, would he?
No, because they know how Dennis Rodman is. When that ball is tipped up, I'm ready to go. I'm putting 110% on the line, and like tonight, I had to go out there and play the big guys, the big minutes, and he can count on me anytime he wants. And I was tired out there. I was very, very worn out there battling those guys, but came through.
Dennis, congratulations. Dennis Rodman walks in the locker room. There is all kinds. You can get a shot in here, maybe, Jeff, of the wireless inside. You see Luke Longley. This is an area where we can't go back into, actually. But I'm understanding right now that Michael Jordan is down the hall at the podium. Let's go to him now. Hear his comments. Here's Michael.
I'm so intrigued by the thought of, dropping the last three and possibly walking away. The fact that you played such a great last minute and had a game-winning shot, title-winning shot, is that going to, do you like the idea of going out that way?
Yes. If that's the case, yes. I mean, when I got that rebound, sure, I mean, my thoughts are very positive, and the crowd gets quiet. The moment starts to become the moment, for me, and that's what we've been, that's part of that Zen Buddhism stuff, the moment once you get in the moment, when you're there, things start to move slowly, you start to see the court very well, you start reading what the defenses are trying to do. And I saw that moment. And, when I saw the moment, the opportunity to take advantage of it when Russell reached, and I took advantage of that moment. And I never doubted myself. I never doubted the whole game. We were hanging too close. It was a 3-point game, 4-point game, 5-point game. Scottie Pippen's hurt. Dennis and everybody's in foul trouble. And they never really burst out and left us standing, and we kept hanging in there. And I knew that we were going to have an opportunity to win this game, and I just wanted to be able to do that. And from an offensive standpoint, sure, you look at my rebounds, I only had maybe 2 or 3 rebounds, and I told Phil that, I know I'm going to have to play a lot of minutes, I have to conserve energy somewhere, and unfortunately I had to be on the rebounding edge, but the offense, I had to step forward.
Okay, last question for Michael.
Michael, after John hit that three-pointer, you scored the last 4 points, you actually scored the last 8, but you scored the last 4 on baskets. Talk about those last 2 baskets, your layup, and then the jumper, and did that jumper remind you of last year, Game 1, with Brian guarding you? He reached, you went.
It was in a very similar situation. The play before that was, with Karl Malone. We've been trying to double team him. And Hornacek was trying to, I guess, pick Karl Malone, and he never really cleared, which gave me an opportunity to go back. And Karl never saw me coming, and I was able to knock the ball away. The play before that was when Phil called an isolation play for me, to take it to the hole and make him foul me or get an easier basket, which is what I did. But, when I got the ball, I looked up and I saw 18.5 seconds left, and I felt like we couldn't call a timeout because it gave defenses an opportunity to set up, and it was a do-or-die situation. So I let the time tick to where I felt like I had the court right where I wanted to, and Stockton was on the right-hand side with Steve Kerr. I knew he couldn't gamble because Steve has killed him before. So, and as soon as Russell reached, he gave me a clear lane, which, I made my initial drive, and, he bid on it, and I stopped, pulled up and had an easy jump shot. Great look, and went in. And once it went in, I knew from that point on we've been hanging around long enough. This is a game-winning basket. Now it's just a matter of playing solid defense. And our defense has held us strong all series. And we would never be in this scenario without our defense. So all we had to do was play defense for 5.8 minutes, 5.8 seconds, and I knew we can do that.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
That's my
Next
dog
up, we'll
friend.
have Scotty Pippen.
It was meant to be, Dan. I think with that last shot, it was just fate.
You know, it's so interesting to hear Michael talk about that last, sequence of plays there. He almost sounds like a fighter pilot. When you listen to fighter pilots talk about a mission that they've just flown, it was very similar. As a matter of fact, speaking of fighter pilots, our Corey McPherson is fighting the crowd outside the Delta Center. Corey, who do you have now?
Well, we're with one of Dennis's friends, Carmen Electra, of course, from Baywatch and Singled Out on MTV. How exciting is this for you, your first world title with Dennis, right?
Oh, my God. I almost passed out. My heart was pounding. My knees got weak. I had to sit down for a minute. But, I knew they were going to win. This is the best team, and they deserve it.
What was it like? You had early access in the locker room, I think. Well, how wild did it get in here?
How wild?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the players, the bodies, the legs.
Yeah?
I'm not complaining. No, actually, I'm completely soaked. I had a bottle of champagne poured all over me, so.
Right.
It's pretty exciting back here.
It's a wild scene, but I bet you can handle it.
Well, I can handle it.
All right. Carmen, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
All right.
All right.
Carmen Electra, and I understand Scotty's at the podium right now. Let's go to him live. Thank you very much.
Very difficult for me. I tried to run in the back and do whatever I could, and I just decided at that point that I would just take as much treatment as I could and try to go out and do what I could the next 24 minutes, hoping that, some type of presence out on the court could make a difference, open up some opportunities, and, I just did my best. But I have to give credit to my teammates. They came out and really held it together in the first half. Michael really put the scoring load on his shoulders and, just did what he could, and, he had an outstanding performance. It was a great team win, but you can't overlook what he's done for this team, especially in today's game.
Scotty, for years, your courage had been questioned by people in Chicago and elsewhere. The migraine headaches, the 1.8 seconds. Is it important to you that this performance changes people's minds about your courage and toughness?
Not exactly. I just wanted to get the series over with. I want the team to stay close and allow me the opportunity to come out and give my best 24 minutes, which didn't look that great, especially in my eye. But it was important for me to just try to be on the court and make my presence known and try to be effective any way possible. I think I have great knowledge of the game and knowing what I could do and a lot of things that I could not do out there. But I don't reflect on those things. I just try to go out and play for my teammates and give the best performance that I can and try to come away to win. I didn't want to be looking at a Game 7 knowing that I'm not 100% and we're pretty much having our back.
A courageous game out of Scottie Pippen live in the locker room. Luke Longley.
Winning this championship with all the things.
This is Luke Longley.
All of the distractions. You said this was the best one.
I think that's why this one was the most satisfying. We had so many things stack against us this year between injuries and the whole situation with, the team not coming back and so on and so forth. It was just, I thought it was incredible that we came through and had as good a season and as good a playoffs as we did. And I think we earned this one more than ever before.
And how about this final game with Pippen obviously not even probably 70%, Harper out there battling the flu. I mean, a special brand of courage tonight by a lot of guys.
Hey, you can't say enough. We didn't. A lot of ways we shouldn't have won. You look at the paper, we shouldn't have won, and yet Michael comes through with big plays all game, but down the stretch. It makes it a blast. It really does.
Now, obviously, you didn't have your best series of all time in the NBA Finals, but that doesn't diminish in any way your enjoyment of this title, I wouldn't think.
No, I feel like I made my contributions all through the year and in the other series, and I had trouble getting in the games. I drew a lot of fouls trying to guard Carl. But I would probably be licking my wounds if we'd have lost the series, but when you win the series at all kinds, it doesn't matter.
Everybody's talking, of course, about Michael and about Scotty and Phil and Dennis and their futures. Obviously, you're a free agent as well. Do you have a sense of what lies ahead for you in terms of your relationship with the Bulls in the future?
I wish I had a sense of it, and we're going to work on that all summer. I'd like to stay. I love Chicago, but they're not giving anything away, and that's the way they play the game.
So you will play the free agent game then?
I have to, yeah, that's my job.
Yeah, that's right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Luke Longley live in the locker room. Let's go back to Chicago.
All right, just a reminder that some folks have been anticipating the X-Files. That will come after our coverage of the Bulls' victory celebration. Scottie Pippen at the podium. Let's hear what he has to say now.
In your opinion?
Wonderful, tremendously. I mean, it's unforgettable. I mean, it's something that I'll be able to look back and cherish for the rest of my life. You know, to be able to win 6 titles in the last 8 years, it's been a great run for us. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of celebrations, and I can never see any other team in the future being as dominant as this ball club has been. And, you know, you hate to see it come to an end, and you don't want to see it come to an end. I mean, we feel like that we're dominant, even though we weren't 100% healthy, especially myself going in these last couple games. But it's been a lot of fun, and that's part of winning, is being able to have that courage and desire to go out and do whatever you can to bring your team to the top.
Okay, we are taking questions for both players.
Yeah, don't y'all forget.
No. Let him go
Don't
down
forget
with
Ron.
because he don't play the ball anyway, so let him go ahead.
For Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, judging by the press conferences, was almost hilarious after the 2 games you lost. How much of a factor was it with his leadership helping you getting by those defeats?
Well, you know, here's a guy that does a lot for our basketball team, and we're out here. Sad part there, early during this ball game, he was the guy who was holding us there, and he came in during halftime, and he felt that we still had this basketball game, and the main thing that he said was for us to go out there and to give him some help. And once his sidekick came back, it was just one game that we hung in there, and we had a very good chance of. And it was a very great ball game, and our hat goes off to him, to the guys on this basketball team. It was a very great win for our team.
Ron, do you feel like with this series in particular that you're finally getting the recognition you deserve?
I don't care about that. You know, when I first came in this league, everybody said he can shoot the ball and do this flash and do this slam dunk. All them things don't mean anything. This is my 3rd championship, and if I would have to change my game again, I would probably change it again, I think.
Scotty, over here. Scotty.
Yeah.
What exactly was your injury, and how did it happen?
Took too many charges from Karl Malone.
You were Dr. Club too long.
I took a lot of hard falls, you know, not just in this series, but this is something that's probably going back even far as the Indiana series. You know, just getting thrown to the floor, and I had a very sore back, and took a couple falls in the last game that really threw me off, and I just lost a lot of my mechanics for its moving out on the court and being aggressive and coming over and attacking. And I felt like that was something that affected us in Game 5, that I didn't have the energy, the mobility to be aggressive from a defense standpoint, and as well as offense. I settled for a lot of jumpers, 0 for 7 from the three-point line, 2 for 16 from the game. Those things really worked against me, and defensively, I wasn't the same player. You know, even looking back at a lot of the tape of that game, they were saying how Utah had countered and were able to take advantage of me being able to come over and double team, and it was pretty much only because I wasn't physically mobile enough to get up and move. But as a result, we were able to counter, and we came away with a win.
Ron, if this team isn't back intact, how do you see your role changing next season? How good do you think this team can be?
I actually don't know. I'm not gonna think about what if and what's going to happen to this basketball team. I'm gonna just enjoy these next few days, this offseason. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to wait to see what happens to my best friend on this team, and hope whatever happen for him, because you know he been a great teammate, and he was the one who called me to be here. And if he want to be a Chicago Bull to be on this team again, it's up to him, to my man Scotty. And if you don't want to be a Bull, I'm gonna be cheering for him anyway.
Okay, last question.
Okay, Ron, you had great defense on Stockton this game and throughout the series. Talk about the three-pointer that he made and the three-pointer that he didn't make in that 5 seconds.
Well, you understand. He's the kind of guy who runs his team. He has the basketball all the time, and everything goes through his hands. And last year, I didn't have fun. This year, I for sure said that I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna do the things that I know that I can do. I use my size on him, and I just have fun out there. And the shot that he made was a very, very tough shot. And the last shot that he didn't make, I was relieved, put it that way. See y'all.
Okay, thanks, guys. You can take the trophy.
And they told him to take the trophy. And make sure you get the trophy, guys. That's number 6. Don't leave that on the table. Well, you think about the end of this game and how everything kind of crystallized right down at the end. Michael Jordan, let's listen to this part of the game. Sound full. Michael Jordan, the last shot for the Bulls on offense.
Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Broke his ankle trying to stop after Michael put that move on him. Michael took him to the middle of the lane, pulled up, takes about the 18-foot jumper, cans it. Then they come back with 5.2 seconds left and play great defense, and they win the championship. Corey McPherson is back out at the Delta Center. He's got Scottie Pippen alongside. Corey?
I don't know. I mean, it was one of those games where, you know, you just try to look at this as being the last game. And, you know, I didn't want to go into a Game 7 realizing I wasn't healthy and have our backs to the wall on this team home court. And I just, you know, was hoping that the team could hold together for the first 24 minutes. And after that, I wanted to get out and just, you know, make my presence be a little bit known out on the court, even though I wasn't that effective. Just wanted to be out there and be a part of it.
What did you think when MJ got the ball with the clock ticking down? Done deal?
Done deal. Stick a fork in these turkeys.
Scotty, is this the sweetest championship yet?
It was pretty sweet. It was pretty difficult for us, but, you know, after being looked at as an underdog going into this series, we have to say this is probably one of the greatest, because we came out and performed above, you know, what anyone anticipated, and we just gutted it out. We showed that, you know, we have experience, we have pride, and we just put it all on the line.
Jerry Reinsdorf says he hopes and prays that you and Michael come back next year. Will you answer Jerry Reinsdorf's prayers?
I'll answer when he gets to my checking account.
Will $60 million do it, Scotty? Okay, Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen saying, you know, he wants Jerry Reinsdorf to help his checking account a little bit, and I think that's, of course, the answer to everything, right?
Sure is.
In this case, we think so. We think that's been the sticky point all along. Bruce Wolf, reinforcement for Corey McPherson out in Utah tonight.
Now the point guard for the Utah Jazz, John Stockton, is at the podium out in Utah.
John, do you think your team will be back intact as it is for another run at the Bulls?
Well, I think that every year there are changes. I mean, you can't avoid changes. We only made, I think, one, and that was our draft choice in Jacques Vaughn this year, but you can almost guarantee that no team will ever come back in its entirety for next season. We've been through a lot together with this large amount of this group, and it would be fun to do it again and see if we can get over the top next time. But I think realistically we all realize that some changes are always made, and that's the nature of this business as the business part goes.
John, starting with the middle.
That was John Stockton at the podium. We're deep in the locker room here with Steve Kerr. And how about John's shot at the very end? Did you think he had a shot to make that?
Well, he had a decent look.
Excuse me, that's Harp with the trophy right behind us. There's champagne flying every which way. How's that trophy look to you there, Steve?
The trophy, you know what? Trophy can't compare to what's inside, I'll tell you that.
Can you try to put that into words, the feeling inside to win again your third time?
It's almost impossible to put it into words. It's just, you know, I don't know if people realize how difficult it is to go through a season like this, let alone 3 straight seasons. We've played over 100 games. Every game, every game, playoffs, regular season, there's so much tension and stress because we're the Bulls and everybody's coming after us. And I can't wait to just chill.
A year ago, you were the guy that got the ball, hit the shot. I guess maybe you won't have quite as many opportunities to have to speak and run around as maybe you had a year ago.
You know, I couldn't believe Michael didn't throw it to me in that situation. What was he thinking?
There's a precedent here. Come on, right?
That's right. I did it last year.
Yeah. I guess the final sequence, again, talk to me about it. The steal, was there any question in your mind as you watched it and develop that he was going to hit that shot?
It was fitting because he's Michael, and he's the greatest player ever, and he carried us tonight, and I don't know if he's going to keep playing or what, but if he does retire, yeah, he probably should,
Margos.
But if he does retire, I mean, this is really justice because this is the way he should go out.
Good way to go out. Well, what do you think? I mean, if you had to put a percentage on it, what's in your mind? I mean, nobody knows, but do you have a gut feeling on it?
Can you give us a few days at least? I mean, who cares right now, right? We just want to enjoy it. I mean,
suck down some champagne and forget about it for one night. Right?
Just get away from it. It'll be an interesting summer, but you know, at this point, who cares?
That can wait.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Steve Kerr, congratulations. Good job, Steve Kerr in the locker room, and right behind us, we've got Scottie Pippen, who I think has already been on once, but let's listen in.
Michael, everyone kind of pulled me in and said, hey, this is why we're back. This is what we want, the opportunity to win another title. And, you know, I'm just glad that, you know, what they brought to me was able to come true.
By coming back and what you've learned about this team and what you guys are able to accomplish, where's your head right now? What are you thinking about, man?
Resting my back.
Yeah, talk to me about the back. You stepped up tonight. It was killing you. You were able to make some key plays, but, you know, a threat from the outside, even though you couldn't do what you wanted to do.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. You know, I felt like, you know, when I came out of the game the first half that I wasn't going to be able to return. So I just wanted Chip him to give me as much treatment as possible, whatever, you know, just to get me back out there, and hopefully that's the next 24 minutes I can just stay on the court.
You're half of the Bulls' dynamic duo. Talk about Michael Jordan. How appropriate is it that at the end this could be the last dance? He makes the steal, hits the clutch shot. What was going through your head?
That was great. You know, that's where great players step up and perform. And, you know, he had a great performance. After sitting here watching him for the first half carry us offensively, I just felt like if I could get back on the court and just to be a presence that, you know, he would be able to get a little bit of a break. Phil took him out of the game, gave him a little break, and when he came back in, he just had that look in his eye that he wanted the ball, he wanted to attack and be aggressive offensively, and that's what we tried to do, is get him the ball.
You and Mike are the only Bulls who have been in for all 6 titles, and Phil, but the Bulls as far as players. Talk about your mindset. I mean, how do you walk away? What do you think about as far as making it happen one more time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of left up to the management right now. I mean, if the right offer is there for me, then...
But are you open-minded?
I'm going to be open-minded. You know, I made some comments, but, you know, right now I'm pretty optimistic that, you know, I have to look more at my future. But, you know, if these guys want to come back and try it again, then, hey, I'm going to be open to, you know, whatever talk is going on.
Scottie, enjoy. Congratulations, my man.
Scottie, good job. Scottie Pippen live in the locker room as he walks over. He is completely soaked with champagne. Let's go to Bruce Wolf live right now.
Hey, Michael. Mike, 1 minute.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Come on, man, right there.
1.1 second the other night, you said that was kind of cute because nobody knew what was going to happen. Now, what did you think was going to happen when you got the ball this time?
I didn't give anybody time enough to think. You know, we didn't call a timeout. So I looked up and I had 18.5, and I didn't want the defense to get set up against me. So, I mean, you know, Phil didn't give an indication for timeout, which it was good, in which I had the right call. I had the ball in my hand, so he gave me the option to do what I had to do, and I did what I had to do.
Where else can you have this kind of fun, that kind of fun?
Well, it is a feeling to win it here in Utah because the fans are so loyal, and they come down on us hard. So, I mean, in one sense, it's gratifying to win it here, but unfortunately, we couldn't do it in Chicago where the people really deserve
to have us win it there, but I'm pretty sure they're happy that we won it.
What do you want to say to them back there right now as they watch?
I want to say hello to my wife and my kids who didn't come, and I know they're still awake, and I love them. I can't wait to get back. But to all the fans, and to all my in-laws, and to everybody who are watching, that 6 is good for you guys.
Michael, is this the sweetest one? Okay, we'll send it back to the studio right now. Michael Jordan saying this is pretty sweet.
Understandably. Thanks a lot, Bruce Wall.
The ultimate competitor saying that this was the toughest challenge, and part of the challenge, he said, was that no one expected us to win. Michael Jordan, I mean, you can't find somebody who can compete as hard as he can, and he proved it tonight.
He certainly did. And you think back to the Indiana series, how tough that one was. That one goes to a Game 7, and now this one goes to a Game 6. Certainly the Bulls were tested this time around like they've never been tested before in a finals scenario. But in the end, Michael Jordan and the Bulls come through one more time. That doesn't surprise anybody. And Michael said, well, people didn't believe. I think a lot of people believe. They know that he has that ability and that skill and that desire and that killer instinct is something you just can't teach somebody. I think you just have, either you have it or you don't. Michael's got it, and he's got it in bucket loads. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the basketball game itself. We talked about Scottie Pippen coming on with that back injury and suffering from that stiff back. Got shots earlier in the week. Came out tonight, tried to go early in the ball game, had to leave a few times to go back and get treatment in the locker room from Chip Schaefer. Then let's go to the end of the ball game. 83-all, John Stockton cans a 3 to put Utah up 86-83 with 41 seconds left in the ball game. But you knew that wasn't the end of it, because Michael Jordan got a steal off Karl Malone, then comes down court, sizes up the defense, takes Brian Russell, knocks it down from about 18 to 20 feet away, and the Bulls go up 87-86. Then the Utah Jazz have one last chance with 5.2 seconds left. John Stockton launches the 3, but it's no good. And the Bulls win their 6th world championship. And our Corey McPherson is standing by with Michael Jordan.
Superman, you still needed more of a breather than you got.
I know.
Michael Jordan in a very crowded locker room. Let's see if you can hear.
Are you ready to play 48 minutes? I said, whatever it takes.
But they didn't drop the game plan at all, right? I mean, they said when Scottie couldn't go and Ron couldn't go, he said, Mike, you got to do it.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I had to do whatever I could to help motivate this team. And I was hoping that it wouldn't be all offense, but it had to be all offense.
But simple now, you're coming back, right?
Well, we have to wait. Yeah, I want us to all be back here next year, but I mean, time is going to tell that. You know, right now we don't want to make no rush judgment, and I think everybody wants to evaluate and see what happens.
How sweet was it? What else did he do?
It's very special. 6. I'm going to win 6. You know how tough that is. That's very hard, man. I mean, nobody's done it but Bill Russell and his crew. Magic won 5. We won 6. And that means a lot.
Do 7, right?
Well, I mean, we have to wait. I'm not going to jump ahead of myself.
What about the final 7?
We're back to Chicago.
Where are you going?
I love you, but I'm going. We're flying back to Chicago tonight.
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let me out of here, please.
Okay, go.
Let me out of here.
Congratulations, Michael.
Wow.
Michael Jordan live, walking into the private area here, a semi-private, no longer really private, actually, because everybody's in here. Jeff, you with me? Let's get the shot here. He's hugging Jim Stack, one of the scouts. He's got Clarence around him, one of his security men. He's trying to enjoy the moment here. I think he's all talked out for now. We have a picture still, Jeff, there? As he's moving around, a lot of still photographers trying to get Michael's picture. He said, hey, we're going to enjoy this while we can and worry about it this summer in terms of his future and what will happen next. Of course, if he does decide to hang it up, what a way to go out, huh? You can see again, I think our cable is at its end right now. Michael Jordan behind us. Here's Randy Brown as Michael Jordan comes through in fitting fashion today. Here's Phil Jackson.
Load him up. Let's go.
Phil, one question.
Oh, we're ready to go, guys.
Phil?
No, I'm sorry, Corey.
Come on. We're live right now. Just talk to me 1 second about the final 15, 20 seconds of the game. What was going through your mind when he makes the steal?
Oh, man, it was like the last 2 minutes. We said, let's execute. Let's get ourselves on working condition. Let's do defensive stops. Let's take care of the basketball, take it to the basket. Got an opportunity, run the ball at them. Yeah. And we did those things. In the last minute, we were able to take advantage of it. And then Stockton hits the 3, and then all of a sudden you go like, oh, boy. But we came back and found a way.
The courage of Scottie Pippen, how do you describe it?
It was great courage. Michael had never lost his confidence in that game. He was ready to play it all the way through.
Right. I'm sure you've been asked this in the news conference already, but
No, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Phil Jackson. You got to ask him. You knew that was the question that he's been asked 1,000 times the last couple of weeks. He gave the standard answer. Phil Jackson is celebrating, trying to get out of here with the stogie in hand. Said, let's load him up. As a matter of fact, the Bulls will bus to the hotel, spend about an hour packing their things, and then fly back to Chicago. Ought to be a wild plane trip, to say the least. The Chicago Bulls, world champions for the 6th time in 8 years. I'm looking around to see if there's anybody else here we want to grab. I don't see. I've yet to see. Perhaps we've had him on. I don't know it, but Jerry Reinsdorf. Anybody seen Jerry Reinsdorf around? Okay. We haven't had him yet. Okay. We're gonna look around for somebody else to grab as the Bulls try to make their way out of here as they celebrate from Salt Lake to Chicago in the air. I wish we could have a camera on that flight, huh, guys?
Yeah, man. Yes, we would, Corey. All right.
Wild night.
You do what you have to do. We're going to talk to Dan Jiggets here for a second, too, because, you know, last September, I remember an interview with Michael Jordan where he was asked, are you coming back? And he said, and I quote, if we win a 6th title, I think I have to come back for a 7th.
Oh, Scottie Pippen, yes.
No, this was Michael
Michael
Jordan.
as well. Yeah, Michael, I think, has pretty much made it clear, but he really does want to get the rest of those guys back with him. I guess we've got something else going on now, maybe a helicopter look.
We're going to go to Dane Placco, who is in Air Fox. There are some few problems in Chicago tonight. Dane, give us an idea of what's going on.
Right now, Byron, you're looking at a picture on the southwest side, not too far from Midway Airport. We've been floating over the city of Chicago for about 25 minutes now, and we've been seeing a massive show of force by Chicago police. But we haven't seen too much activity. Right now, you can see the police squad car. That light you see shining on those people is from the state police helicopter. That's above the scene. They're not trying to get anybody who's been committing any crimes that we've been able to see off of the street. They're just simply making a show of force. There were a number of young people congregated along Archer Avenue, and it appears that they're just trying to shag them out of the area and keep them away from a number of the storefronts that are along this street. Now, there are a number of police cars. As soon as the game ended, hundreds and hundreds of police car lights went up all over the city of Chicago, particularly on the west side. There was a lot of activity on the west side, but what we're hearing on the police scanner is not too much in the way of looting. A couple isolated reports of looting. We've also heard of a man shot on the south side, also about a half-dozen fires, and as we mentioned, the state police helicopter in the air right now, just trying to shag people off the main intersections. So right now, it's a fairly quiet celebration, a major show of force by the Chicago Police Department, and but we have not heard of any significant incidents at this point. Back to you.
All right, Dane, thank you. And also, we wanted to let you know that for anybody who's thinking about heading downtown, the city has closed off a number of streets. Let's see, let's start with exit ramps along the Kennedy Expressway. The Bulls blockades will include the inbound ramps at North Avenue, Division, Ohio, and possibly at this point the Fullerton ramp.
Also, the Lakeshore Drive exits at Michigan, Grand, and Illinois, and major streets are closed too, as you may know. Division, Fullerton, Harlan, State, 79th, Commercial, also Madison, Clark, Cermak, Devon, and Howard. Probably not a good idea to head downtown. If you're not there already, you might want to stay away. You're looking at a live picture at State and Division.
This is pretty much the epicenter of activity tonight. This is where a lot of folks have come out to party. And a pretty calm crowd at this time. Let's go to Tamron Hall. She's standing by. She's in the middle of it somewhere.
I'm right here, actually. I'm lucky enough that I have this vantage point. We are actually on top of our live truck, so we have a great vantage point. We don't have to worry about being inside the crowd, but we can see everything from where we are standing. And so far, actually, I've been talking with the officers. We've all been chit-chatting here. No arrests. They've had a great evening. They're smiling. The crowd's smiling. So this is a very different picture from what we've seen in a while. So everything looks good from our vantage point. Back to you guys in studio.
All right, Tamron, and we're going to go back once again to Corey McFerrin standing by live at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. Hi, Corey.
We're back in the locker room with Tony Kukoc. Let's listen in.
I know that he's going to be remembered big time as a player like he was, number one. But I hope this wasn't his last game. If it was the best ending that it possibly can happen. But I hope that the right people and meet and then find the right words for each other to keep the team together.
If this is his last game, though, what a way to go out, I guess, huh?
It was unbelievable. It's great. It's just the thing you expect is going to happen, and they did.
With Pippen hurt, with Harper sick, did you feel more of a burden tonight to come up big for this team?
Yeah, I did. But I said to myself, don't score 30 points because it didn't work out the last time. So just be on your pace, get the 15 in, and then give it a good chance to win. And it happened. I'm joking. I knew when Scotty was out that I have to step up and do some good things on the court for us to have a chance to win.
Was there a point in that fourth quarter where you're thinking, oh, geez, we're going to a 7th game. Oh, my goodness, what's going to happen?
Well, you actually you have no time to think about the 7th game because you're so close, and every possession, every play coming up and down the court counts.
Yeah.
And when you're up by 1 or you're down by 2, 3, there's no time to think about nothing else but the game.
I remember when you came to Chicago, it was the same day basically when Michael bowed out. He would come back a year and a half later. You've had a chance to win 3 titles with him. Can you explain to us what it means to you, what it has meant to you to play for 3 seasons with this guy and win the titles?
It's unbelievable. First from winning the 3 championships, for somebody that comes for basketball-wise and NBA-wise so far from it, and win the 3 championships, it's unbelievable. My career was just. It was accomplished big time before I came here, but right now, winning the 3 championships, I don't think somebody outside the NBA had a career like I did, and playing with Michael. Well, when you're playing with the best, like Michael is, like Scott is, Dennis as well, on the way he plays,
sure.
It just makes you realize the things. I always said playing with them is nice, but just being around them, see the way they practice, they do the things in a regular life, and everything can get you to the right tracks. It
made you a better player.
Yeah, they did. They showed me the ways to do it.
Can you imagine next year without Michael, without Scotty?
I don't want to imagine that. That's not a very good imagination, but if it happens, the only thing I have to say to these guys and thank them for every day of these that we had, and to wish them a rest of the life, careers, everything great. But I hope it's not going to happen. And I said earlier, I hope that the right people is going to find the right words for each other and keep the team together.
Tony, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Job well done. Tony Kukoc live in the locker room. Let's walk over here. Jeff, who else we got here? Danny, who we got? Okay, Bill Wennington's going to come out this door here in a second, I believe. We can talk to Big Bill for a second. Where are you, Billy? This is the locker room. Show a picture of the locker room, wouldn't you? Hopefully nobody's naked as you look in there. No, it's just your basic life. You got towels over there. You got the case for the beer. You got a place to shave. You got the sink. This is the championship locker room here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Most of the Bulls now are trying to clear out. Phil Jackson, you heard him a few minutes ago, trying to say, hey, let's get on the bus. You want to get back to the hotel and try to head back to the airport. Is Bill back there? He went the other way. Okay. We're going to throw it back to you right now. If we have somebody else. Wait, there he is. Come on. Let's go. Bill Wennington. Big Bill, can I have you for a second? What are you shooting here?
Corey.
What are you, Cecil B. Wennington?
You said, can you have me? What do you mean?
What I mean is, can I talk with you, okay?
Didn't we talk in New York one time after a game like this?
I go back many years with this guy, covering the St. John's Redmen back in 84-85 when he and Chris Mullin and Mark Jackson went to the Final Four. Congratulations.
We didn't win that, though.
Well, you went to the Final Four. You came pretty darn close. Can you describe this? I mean, you've been through it before, but is this special? Is this different? Is this somehow unique from the others?
This is great because I think what happened was in the Indiana series, I think a lot of people started to speculate if we'd even get here.
Sure.
And then once we finally got through the Indiana series, I think a lot of people doubted that we'd get to win this championship. And So I think that in itself makes it special because we proved that a lot of doubting Thomases that we could do the job. The sad thing about it is that this could be the last hurrah, and that's difficult to think about because
what do you think?
Here, I really don't know what to think right now, and I think there's been a lot said, a lot of water has passed under the bridge, and I hope it can all work out. I'd love for this to continue, but right now I really don't have a clue.
When you were out there receiving the trophy and hugging and celebrating, that had to pass through your mind.
It definitely did. I thought that, this could be the last time I'm hugging these guys. If not in a championship year, then maybe just in a regular season for a goodbye at the end of the year. But, it's difficult and it's tough to know what's going to happen in the future. And this year with the collective bargaining in the NBA could put a damper on things and make more havoc for getting everyone back. But, it's tough, and I really don't want to think about that right now, Corey.
By the way, Jeff, look at it. He's got the camera rolling the entire time. The red light is on. Can I grab that for you and shoot you while we do this?
I've been shooting this all night long for you. You do a good job. And, I've got
hey,
let me years on tape with that.
Let me ask you, are you someday going to put a movie together, or is this just for home usage?
It's just for home usage, and, I've had a lot of fun with it. I go back and look at it later on in the summer and just realize, what a special time we've had here in Chicago with this team and the great things that we've accomplished. It's really been outstanding.
Is there one outstanding moment sequence you captured on this home video camera that is a special treasure?
One that I'll always remember, the first year we beat Orlando in finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, to come back. And just at the airport, there were a lot of people at the airport. And there was a song playing on a CD player that I liked, and a lot of fans were out there, and every time I watched, I get choked up a little bit. It was just a really special moment because it was obviously going to be my first finals, and that's special. There's a couple locker room scenes that I have on there that I really need to.
How about you? One final question as we give you back the video camera. I think it's the other way around, actually. What about? I mean, again, tonight's for celebration, but you want to stay in Chicago as long as you can, obviously. What are the prospects of that happening?
For me to stay, I think I'm going to be like one of the last ones on the list.
So you got to wait and see everything kind of follows.
Obviously, there's a lot of people in front of me, and that's rightly so. And I would love to stay in Chicago. It's been a great city for me and my family for 5 years, and it's a great team. And I really hope they keep this team together. It'd be outstanding if they do.
It's the first time I've ever been taller than Bill Wennington. I like the standing on top of the stool here in the locker room. It's great stuff. Good luck to you. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Thanks to all the fans back in Chicago who supported us all year. It's been great.
All right, good job, Bill Wennington. Good man. Good job, Bill. Thank you. All right. Bill Wennington, let's look around the locker room, see who else we can see. Go to the right there, Jeff, and see Luke Longley talking back to Australia. That's his dad right next to him. Could you tell? Oh, Aussie land is celebrating tonight as well. As we look around, Steve Kerr is nearby here doing an interview, and most of the players have cleared out at this time and perhaps trying to look inside, perhaps heading for the bus as the celebration continues. As we say, they'll go back to the hotel, pack, and then head back to Chicago, probably landing somewhere around 4 a.m. this morning, something like that. For right now, let's send it back to Chicago. When we have something else, we'll be back at you. All right?
Okay. Corey, quite literally on top of the world right now.
And somebody ought to tell Corey, you have to have a union card. This is a union shot to shoot those pictures, but we'll let him slide this time. People, a lot of pressure on the Bulls to come back, bring the team back together, what's going to happen in the future. But right now, let's celebrate.
And there's going to be a big celebration right here in Chicago on Tuesday at Grant Park. Our coverage here at Fox News is going to begin at 9 a.m. The rally itself starts at 10, but we're going to get going an hour early at 9 a.m., so be here with us at 9.
Bruce Wolf is standing by, back in Utah. Bruce, what's happening?
Well, I'll tell you what, Karl Malone just boarded the Bulls bus, and he was congratulating all the Bulls players. I don't know if he's still on there. He was going down the aisle, handshaking all the Bulls players, and I don't seem to see him right now. He may have... He is right behind us. Okay, I just got into his car right now. Okay. Karl, a tough series, huh?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and the window goes up. Electric windows. Good thing to have when you're a loser. And, yeah, it was a very difficult series, but he was very gracious. He went into the bus. And Dickie Simpkins. Hey. Dickie, hey, nice to get another ring. And being on the team and on the playing roster. Huh?
Yeah, being there physically and getting another ring. Man, I'm right now.
How's it feel, man?
I feel like running back to Chicago with this uniform on. I just feel like jogging all the way back to Chicago.
You still have your shorts on right now, huh?
Everything. I'm ready to get back and just enjoy it.
Might be a little cold on the plane.
Nah, I'm going to try to get back and take a shower real quick.
Okay, he's going to try and take a shower. Okay, we've got that, an exclusive right here. And let's go back to you in the studio right now.
The consensus is that's a good thing, Bruce. They all need to take a shower now. Let's let them do that. They have to get on a plane together, for God's sake.
They got to get on the plane, and it's going to be a great ride back, and they're going to talk about probably the game and probably very little discussion about what's going to happen in the months ahead. It's going to be an interesting summer. Everybody wants them to come back again, but some of the interesting stuff that's been going on, we're going to go back to Corey as we go continuing our coverage. Let's go back to Corey McFerrin now. What's happening?
Because we didn't have...
We've got Jerry Krause just outside the locker room.
Than any other team we've ever had.
When you look at that, when you look at all the ways this team has persevered over the years with the core group, is there any reason why they shouldn't be allowed to defend what they've won?
Well, again, we're going to make the future. We'll party tonight, and we'll make the decisions we have to make in the future. I'm not even going to worry about tonight. I'm going to just party and have fun.
Jerry, let me ask you one follow-up on that, though. A lot of speculation that perhaps, and I know you don't want to give a direct answer, but perhaps Scottie Pippen is the key if, in fact, this core group does come back, in that Michael would want to play with them and so forth and so on. Do you buy that?
Well, as I said before, we're going to talk about that in the future, and we're going to celebrate tonight. That's all I'm going to do.
I tried, at least.
Well, you're more power to you for trying.
Listen, tonight, just talk to me about this basketball game and the kind of courage that Scottie Pippen showed. Do you think if there was any doubt about what he's made of that's been erased tonight, maybe in the minds of some people?
Well, there's never been any doubt in my mind. I mean, I know what's happened. I was with him in Detroit when these people accused him of doing some things with the headaches. That was baloney. And I've been with him all through the line, and there's never been a doubt in my mind. Scottie Pippen is one of the most courageous and guttiest athletes I've ever known.
How fearful were you in that fourth quarter of having to go to a seventh game?
Well, you know, this building's a tough building, and that's a great team we played in. It's a great... One of the tough things about this series was, you know, the Ladens are tremendous people. Scottie and Frank Layden are great people. And Jerry Sloan was the first player I ever drafted as a full-time scout back in, I hate to tell you when, 1965.
You were in college, weren't you?
Yeah. But and so you can't get mad at anybody. I mean, you really like these people, and it's tough to beat people you really like, and this is a little different. Sometimes in the finals you get mad at somebody. You can't get mad at anybody here, and they're such great people, and with 5 seconds to go, I'm standing there, my stomach's doing somersaults, and I'm thinking two of the greatest shot makers of all time, John Stockton and Karl Malone, are sitting there on that bench, and Sloan. Jerry knows what he's doing. He's diagramming a play for one of those two, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, here we go again. Yeah. You know, he's just, your stomach does somersaults, and Jerry's standing next to me, and he's doing what I'm doing, and it just, it was the longest 5 seconds I can think of.
When you get done with the celebration, what's top on the priority list?
Top on the priority is to hug my wife when I get home.
If this, in fact, is it for Michael Jordan,
and hug my kids.
If this, in fact, is it for Michael Jordan as a Bull, can you take a second right now and just put into words what it's meant to you to have this guy as your main man for these 13 seasons?
Oh, boy. I've never been around an athlete like him. I've never been around a competitor like him. I thought that Jerry Sloan was the best competitor I would ever see in my life. I was wrong. There's nobody competes like Michael. Sloan did it with maybe about a tenth of the ability. But he's just the competitiveness, the days in practice, the times he's been hurt and played. I tell people about that thing that happened in San Antonio so many years ago where he got 53 the night after he cut his foot open. I mean, that will live in my memory forever. So many moments like that. But it all revolves around that inner drive. You know, James Jordan and Mrs. Jordan raised a hell of a child.
That they did. An emotional Jerry Krause just outside the locker room. Back to Chicago.
All right, Corey, thank you. And certainly this game, at least this sixth game, belongs to Michael Jordan. He really came through, and earlier tonight he said he had all the confidence, no doubts, that they were going to lose this championship.
It was a zen moment when he made that final shot. Dan, how did it strike you?
You know, it did strike me as a zen moment. Michael said, you know, everything slowed down. I think he was making a reference to Phil and his zen thing. So it did slow down, and you saw him nail that shot for the winner. We've got Bruce Wolf out in Utah now. Bruce has got somebody. Hi, Bruce.
Well, I've got them all. They're on the bus right now. You see Ron Harper. Hey, show us the trophy. Hey, the trophy. Let's see the trophy. There we go. See, he takes direction very well. Yeah, Ron Harper showing us the trophy right now, and he was dusting it off before Scottie Pippen's in the seat in front of him. And Scottie put a box of Scottie tissue right up against the window. I think these guys are pretty happy, but I don't know. Do they allow smoking on the bus? I'm not really sure. But Harper's got custody of the trophy right there. Scottie Pippen in the back with Michael Jordan. in the seat next to him right there. And there's some photographers on the bus as well. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, Karl Malone came by, and he walked down the aisle congratulating all the Bulls players. And the Bulls will be taking this bus. They, I believe, have a midnight Chicago time flight back to Chicago tonight. And Ron Harper on the cell phone right now. I don't know who he is talking. Who are you talking to, Ron? Okay, well, and I don't believe alcohol is allowed on buses either. But there you go. I think that it's starting to settle in with the Chicago Bulls. It should after 6 championships. Don't you think? Back to you in the studio.
Okay. And Bruce, we want to tell everybody that, of course, they're flying home tonight, and they're expected back at O'Hare Airport at 3 a.m. I'm sure there'll be throngs of fans there.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be loaded up there. That'll be another scene that we'll have to cover for sure.
We thought Salt Lake City had a lot of fans when they came back, when the Jazz went back, but this is going
to be the real
incredible
deal. You know, it's funny, everybody's talking about what Michael should do, you know, we want him to come back. We want him to do this. We want him to do that. Well, it's always interesting to check with the opposition. And John Stockton had a few ideas on what Michael should do with his future.
He's not quitting. He'll be back, and Scotty will be back, and Phil Jackson will be back. I'm tired of hearing all that. But it worked for him, so give him credit.
And if the Jazz decide to bring all their guys back to let's do it again next year, we'll win number 7. That's the way it goes.
You know, and it's interesting, too. It seems like Michael always stays cool and collected no matter what's going on. You don't see him bending under the pressure. Yesterday, we saw Karl Malone snap. Tonight, not a
well, you know, there's
loser.
something to be said for going back and winning it 6 times, too. I mean, that definitely helps you ease into things. And Michael said he made a conscious decision this time around to enjoy this championship run. And I think you saw it in press conferences after ball games where Michael was just very cool, very calm, and very collected, and really didn't get too excited about wins or too excited about the losses. He just accepted the fact that what had happened and decided to move on. And maybe that's the new Michael Jordan. Maybe that's what it takes to win 6 world championships and to take that weight on your shoulders at the end of a ball game and fire that game-winning shot and have that killer instinct. Maybe that's all a part of being what he is, Michael Jordan.
You know, Jerry Sloan said tonight, they're the comeback kids, and I don't know if I could relate to that, as, you know, if I can. I don't see them as the comeback kids. It seems like they've been doing well all along.
Well, yes, they have. And maybe what he was talking about is they're going to come back and give us the 7th world championship.
The 7th world championship? That's a possibility, isn't
That would be good.
Let's go on over to Tamron Hall. She's out at State and Division, and Tamron Hall will give us a sense of what's going on out there. Tamron, what's happening?
Well, Byron, the crowd is getting a little bit smaller, but people are still nonetheless partying and enjoying. You can see deep in the crowd, you have some guys and girls jumping around and continuing their partying of, I guess, the double three-peat that the Bulls have pulled off. Again, the bars here close around 4 in the morning, so as long as these people stay out here, I imagine the bars will stay open. The officers are also still here, and they plan to stay until the crowd leaves. So I guess we have a party on our hands that will continue. People are still coming in on State Street, obviously walking, but more people are leaving than are arriving. You can even see here a little bit closer to the crowd. It's getting smaller. At first, it was all the way up to the barricade, the police tape that was put up, but smaller and smaller, but the people who are here still enjoying themselves. Now, if you look beyond the crowd, you will see the police wagon, which, by the way, is still empty. No arrests that we've heard of at this point in time, at least in this area. We do know that there have been some small skirmishes here and there, but nothing major. So it does look good here, and these people are enjoying the celebration. So back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Tamron.
Happy to say that it's been relatively calm in Chicago. Just a few problems, as we saw earlier in Air Fox, but by and large, I guess fans are professional in their celebrations, which is good to see.
We still have a ways to go, though, Byron. The bars are open until 4 a.m., and I'm sure there'll be some folks out there celebrating to that point.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say in the game tonight, the moments that stuck out in your mind?
Well, you know, I think a couple of critical things. You need to talk about some of the steals that Michael created for them defensively, and also you talk about coming down the tail end of the basketball game. And what happened there. Those are things that will stay in your mind for a long, long time. But also the courage of Scottie Pippen to come out and play when he was injured like that. Ron Harper, the defense, all the way through this series, Tony Kukoc, big game in Game 5, and then comes back tonight offensively and picks up some of the load. You know, the peripheral players doing their roles and keeping this game close enough so that Michael can make a difference when you got down on the stretch run. All of those things will go into my mind, I think, for a long, long time, and you'll remember those things about this game and this championship run.
Was your heart in your throat when you saw Scotty having his problems with his back and Ron Harper with the flu?
Anybody that's ever had a back problem, you know how painful it is, and when you try to move and just inch up and down that court, let alone jump and take hook shots and all the rest of it, it's just terrible, you know. So you see the courage that he garnered tonight, and it was something else to see. It really was.
I think he silenced a lot of his critics.
Well, they should have been silenced before. 5 world championships to do something for that.
There you go. All right, let's go back to Bruce and Corey back in Utah. Hi, you guys.
Yeah, now we got a different view of the bus right now. Corey and I are here, and Jerry Krause is blowing hot air up to the ceiling, and as he is wont to do, right, Corey? And Phil Jackson's smoking a cigar right now, and will he be on the bus next year?
That's the big question. Right behind him, Tex Winter, sucking down some gold water right now. Tex looks like he's about 42, doesn't he? He's unbelievable.
And what's he going on, like 70?
I think he's 73, I want to say. And he's the only guy, if you think about it, besides Phil and Michael and Scotty, I believe he's the only guy in terms of the coaching staff and the roster that's been along for the whole ride, right?
That's right. And, you know, in talking to some of these guys, I mean, they were saying that this was the sweetest one of all.
Yeah, I mean, you kept hearing that. And, of course, they say that every year, if you think back, you know, after one after another. But I guess all the emphasis on this last dance, last stand, last shot kind of a thing, it put so much pressure, and I think really made the trip to the finals that much more difficult. And obviously, you know, the Indiana series could have gone either way. This thing could have easily gone to a 7th game. I mean, the Bulls are the best team in the NBA, but not by a lot.
Well, we see we had a shot of Tony Kukoc just before, and hey, Corey, it was a swell, wasn't it?
It's, you know, it was, and I know we both talked about this during that 4th quarter. We're all saying, I hope we brought enough underwear for 4 more days, you know.
That's right.
But
I didn't unpack. I didn't unpack.
I was worried. What do you got? Is the bus about to take off? Oh, Steve Kerr's coming over.
Steve Kerr. Steve, the sweetest one of all?
Absolutely, the best.
I mean, you had a great rebound there.
Who cares? We won. Hey.
Great rebound. That was the key, of course, to one of those victories.
It was huge.
Okay. All right, we have to wrap it up right now, Corey. The bus is about to leave.
We got the state trooper here. That's not the one that was with Carl, was it?
It better not be.
Yeah.
That's treasonous. Okay, back to you in the studio.
All right, you guys. Thanks for all your help.
Thank you very much. All right, the Bulls do it 87-86. Michael Jordan with the clincher with 5 seconds left. Dan, your thoughts?
The toughest and the sweetest, they say.
The toughest and the sweetest. That's exactly right. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this offseason because I think it's going to be a fascinating one to watch how this team reassembles. I think they will reassemble. One of the reasons why is because they have the skybox leases available at the United Center, about $200 million worth of them. So you have to bring this team back. If you want to sell $200 million worth of skyboxes, Michael better be there, Scotty better be there, the whole group better be there.
It would be hard to imagine them not being together.
Well, yeah, and also just the emotion of this city. I mean, something so wonderful for this city as the bus takes off to go over to the hotel. Those guys are going to get an opportunity to clean themselves up a little bit, jump on their private plane and get back to Chicago maybe about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then the celebration is going to be on here in Chicago for a couple of days. Oh, we'll take it Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Just a little while, just to enjoy it one more time.
Savor the moments. And again, Fox News will be live at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, and the rally begins at 10 a.m., but we're going to start with about an hour early. So join us then for that. Anyway, they do it again, a 6th title. Have a good night, everybody.
Michael never clears, so Malone doesn't see him. He comes from the blind side and strips him. So 3 crucial plays here by Michael Jordan now as he gets Brian Russell with a quick crossover. Look at Brian Russell slip, and Michael pulls up and buries the shot to give him a 1-point lead.
That may have been. Who knows what will unfold in the next several months. But that may have been the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA.
Watch Jordan's left hand here as he gives Russell the foot. Referee can't see that. Jordan frees himself up for a clean look. The greatest thing about Jordan is he has all the tricks. That's why it's so difficult.